Hello and welcome to Miss Hannah Loves Grammar. In this video I'll be sharing some quickfire notes on the AQA English Language Paper 1 Exploration in Creative Writing and Reading and concentrating solely on question 5. Question 5 focuses on descriptive writing. It's worth half of the marks in the whole paper, worth 80 marks, and essentially a quarter of your English Language GCSE. The marks are broken down out of the 40 into 24 marks for the way you communicate and how imaginative your ideas are, the use of language techniques that you have, whether your structure is clear, and whether you are confident with the form, audience and purpose for which this writing is designed. The 16 marks that remain are for technical accuracy, your spelling, your sentence type variation, your punctuation, your grammar being accurate. Ultimately, with this kind of writing task, your job is to show off what you know, and ultimately everybody can write who is sitting this exam. Your job is really to share in the broadest way possible the skills that you've acquired from the age of 5 to now to show your skill and excellence with writing. So let's delve a little deeper and consider exactly where the marks are being arrived from. So question 5 is designed because your job is to do some creative writing, be that narrative-based or descriptive. And a typical question might be as follows. You're going to enter a creative writing competition. Either write a description suggested by the picture, and the image would be above, or write the opening to a story about, and they would give you the topic. They may even give you your opening sentence. The most important thing you have to glean straight away in the exam is which question should I choose. Can I make a suggestion that you actually write a subheading before you begin your response, explaining to the examiner exactly what you've chosen. So it's extremely clear to them and there's no confusion about whether you've chosen a description of a picture or the opening of a story. More than anything, that 40 marks is critical to your overall grade. It shouldn't be something that's rushed. I know for many students that I teach, they're starting with question 5 because they feel really confident and they believe they could genuinely work some magic at the start of the exam. For other students though, they see this as a great question to end on because you've already used an excellent example of fiction to help guide you to what it should look like and what it could look like. You could even steal some vocabulary from earlier in the source to help you have a great answer. But because it's 40 marks, I would actually give this 45 minutes. Your exam is an hour and 45 minutes, so it's a good benchmark for the time. As with any great writing task, you really should start with a plan. But let's dig a little bit deeper now into exactly how you could make this work. So assuming that we've chosen either of these options, I would urge you to focus on a short moment in time. Your writing needs to sound and feel engaging, so you should plan your ideas and language techniques. Ultimately, if you're using descriptive writing, a must is the senses. More than that, you should be using devices that you would expect to find in the source that you've already read in questions 1 to 4. Similes, metaphors, alliteration, repetition, you're showcasing your toolkit of literary devices. So there should be no exception to you including them in your writing. I would urge you before you actually begin to write your opening and final sentence on your plan. It will help consolidate your thoughts and make it full of impact. More than anything, why not use engaging adjectives and interesting verbs to ensure that the reader is fully entranced by your epic vocabulary? I know I've already hinted at it, but using imagery like the simile or a metaphor alongside sensory language heightens the sense that you know what a reader is seeking. You're being examined on this writing. You're not writing a novel that's winning a prize yet. Instead, for you to hit the right criteria in the top band, you need to be able to show your use of these. Why not use a variety of different sentence starters to make it interesting? I would urge you, though, to avoid dialogue completely unless you're totally confident with speech punctuation and really clear that that speech punctuation is absolutely necessary through your dialogue for it to make sense. My final piece of transformative advice is that you must proofread. I think it not only costs marks, but it costs genuine exam success or failure. I know of students who've dropped 2 grades or more in mock practice and in their national exams each summer by telling me they didn't proofread. What they've said is, I'm done. Once I put my pen down, I'm confident I don't need to do any more. We all make mistakes, we all miss the odd word, and it's really important that you do actually take that care. Especially if you're out of the habit of doing it, please do this. With 40 marks that it's worth, it's too big a risk to drop 2 whole bands in your spelling, punctuation and grammar. Bear in mind that we're expecting the grade boundaries to be maybe 2 grades apart for just 16 marks, maybe even 3. It could be the difference between you getting a 7 or a 4. Ultimately, what I want you to remember ahead of attempting question 5 is that planning your answer is a total must. Describe a moment in time and ensure that you engage all the senses and exciting language in your response. I would urge you to use ambitious vocabulary from the extract provided for questions 1 to 4 if you're really stuck, and also ensure that you proofread your work. More than anything, ensure that you've allowed adequate time for this question and actually engage your excitement as a writer to show off all the skills in your toolkit. Best of luck though with question 5. Why not subscribe to Miss Hannah Loves Grammar?